Dave here with Half Dozen Customs. Saturday night, I had some stuff to sandblast in the sandblast booth this weekend. The cabinet, that thing over there in the corner. So I had some pieces that I needed to sandblast, and we had those front brackets for the cord support still sitting in there. So since I was already in there sandblasting, I finished them up. So we have everything all sandblasted here. I'm not going to do much else with them till Monday. So chances are Monday I might have to run over them again because I'm sure there will be some hot spots. I'm going to throw them back in the cabinet. I just wanted to show you guys that I got them sanded up. And if you remember back in one of the last videos that we were working on these, I had told you that one of them was bent up. I forget which one it was. It may have been this one. One of them was really bent up, and I was like, I don't know if it belongs like that. I don't know what the deal is. See, he looks bent up here. And I had said that I didn't have anything to go off of. I didn't know if it was supposed to be like that or not. Well, I did have another one. There's a right and a left. And I was able to see that, you know, that they were different. That one was definitely bent up. I forget, I think it was this one right here. I can see all my hammer marks in it. I think this whole corner was kind of folded over and this whole thing was bent out of shape. And off camera, I had hammered it and straightened it out. But obviously I still need to do some more because this here is obviously bent. It looks like there's some damage here, so we need to straighten that out. And then there's this guy. Like, almost looks like it's supposed to be like that, but I don't think it is. So, right now, real quick, Saturday night, tonight's movie night. So I got like 25 minutes and I gotta go in for a movie. So that's enough time to straighten this stuff out real quick and then time for a movie. So let's get to it. I think we got this straightened out as we're gonna get it. It's kind of an odd spot to try and straighten out. But I think it's good to go now. You know, I think we got these pretty straightened out. So, we'll be back at those on Monday. Like I said, I know I'm going to have to blast them again. We started messing with them, I think, last week, and I had like 1.5 of those little guys sandblasted, and when I pulled them out to do the other sandblasting stuff that I needed to do, you could see my fingerprints all over it. There was hot spots all over. So I had reblasted those just now while I finished up the rest of it, and so I'm sure Monday we'll clean them up again real quick, and then we'll DA them and we'll scuff them, and we'll shoot them black. So we'll do that Monday, and then we're also going to continue on with that fender. So I was talking about kind of where we left off at, was that we need to like add that body line in there, and I was talking about, you know, possibly using the brake to put the body line in, or maybe using my my bead roller to put it in, and I think we're gonna just do a combination of like this guy, because it kind of curves up, and then there's a hard crease, so we'll use this to get that curve up, and then we'll use the brake to put the crease in it. We're not going to use the bead roller. For one, I don't have it set up at the moment. I needed more room in the shop, and you know, that thing's bolted to the floor, you know, just to the right of where I'm standing. So I removed it. It's sitting in the corner back there. We would have to drag it back over here, bolt it down to the ground, to use it for 2 minutes, to just have to take it down and put it back because I still need the room. So I've been thinking about it the last week, and I think just, you know, whether we bend it over that pipe or a smaller one, we're gonna have to figure out the correct diameter pipe that we need for the bend so that it matches what we need it to. But I'm thinking that that's the route that we're gonna go, and hopefully, you know, hopefully we can get that patch in and good. I did, after we did that work, I pulled the curtain back on the other side, and by that I mean I lifted the car cover up, and I looked at that fender over there. That fender over there is more solid than what we're working on the driver's side, but it is really rusty. So we're gonna have to sandblast it and see what becomes of it. But I mean, it does look like it's rusty enough that it could turn to Swiss cheese when we sandblast it. So we may be doing some work over there on that fender as well. But what I had pulled the car cover back to look at is that metal replacement panel that we made. It is straight, and I was looking at the passenger side to see, is that straight or is it curved? And it is curved, so we're gonna have to put it in the shrinker and shrink it up a little bit and put that curve in it that it needs. So, and maybe that'll help a little with, if you remember, I had that tin can. So putting that curve in, I believe is gonna put it in the direction of that tin can. You know, as long as we have the tin can part pushed out towards the outside, when we go to put that curve in, then that tin can should form and match with our curve that we're putting in. And then, like I said, at the top, we're going to have to curve up this way and then a hard line. Hopefully that'll put, you know, those two things will put all the strength back into that piece that we needed. And, you know, I think I mentioned it in that video, you know, that was a piece of scrap that I pulled out of the corner that I had tested on the bead roller. And I had actually used that piece of metal as a test for when we were doing the AC and heat delete on the firewall. So it was a big bead roll that we had in there that I had rolled out in the English wheel. So that's why we have such a big tin can in there, is because that metal had been really stretched out from what we had done. And I want to say that metal it's a piece of metal that I grabbed from Menards when I think we very first started doing the floor, and I wasn't able to go get big sheets at that point in time, so I just ran up to Menards and I just grabbed like a 2x2 sheet. And normally I think it's 18 gauge I normally do, and that was like 20 gauge or 22 gauge, like it was super thin. And as soon as I got home with it and I started working with it, I was like, no, this is way too thin, we can't use this. So it's just been kind of a scrap piece that's been hanging around, that I was using as test pieces, or, you know, nipping a little piece off here and there if I needed something, but and I didn't even think about it when we used it. So that metal's a lot thinner than the normal metal that I use. And I have, I don't know, a little less than a half a sheet still here, but I have some more work that I need to do on the Jeep bed that I need metal for, and I'm not touching that metal until we get the Jeep finished up. Because that metal was originally purchased for that Jeep, and I don't want to use it on something else until we know that we're done with it. And so that's why I didn't cut off a new piece or anything like that. We've just been using up scrap stuff. But anyways, it's movie time. I got 10 minutes to be in for a movie, so I will see you guys Monday. Remember to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. I'm out.